we are wrapping up most of the fall season and bringing you all the net results. So get ready to be floored as we make a mad dash for the wall. Celebrate Cardinal sports with us, as we won't be denied to bring you all the best of the 2018 fall season. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We're wrapping up just about all of the fall season. I know swimming's the only sport left.
Swimming will be a little bit of a carryover. We're still going to do a review of their season, and they really were the spotlight team for Coon Rapids in the fall.
Yeah, it was a tough fall season for the boys and girls in red, no question.
Well, we start, as we always do, with the football team. This was not the season the Cardinals were hoping for. In their second year at the 5A level under Coach Mal Edwards, they had much higher expectations. They started great, but after winning their first 3 games, the Cardinals got into a slide that they just couldn't stop. Still, despite the sophomore slump, there are a lot of reasons to be optimistic about the future of the program. The Cardinals will definitely have some extra drive this offseason as they look to redeem themselves next fall. Their 3-5 regular season finish and one-and-done attempt in the playoffs shouldn't sit well with a team that has a lot more talent than that. They know they didn't live up to their potential, so you would expect they will be fired up until they get a chance to take the field again. They couldn't have asked for a better start. The Cardinals shut out a good Chaska team in the opener, slipped past division rival Forest Lake 21-19, and then beat Park Center 35-22. In each game, they were able to overcome mistakes and find a way to win.
Throw complete, touchdown Cardinals!
Unfortunately, that streak ended week 4, and they wouldn't celebrate another victory all year. The Cardinals lost by 2 at Irondale, then lost their homecoming game to Spring Lake Park 21-14. They ended up losing 6 straight, including their 48-20 exit in the first round of the playoffs.
Touchdown Cardinals!
Well, that's exactly what they needed to do.
The hardest part to accept may be that most of their 6 losses were winnable games. The defense gave them a chance to win most weeks, but struggled with bad penalties at really bad times. The offense showed moments of brilliance, but for most of the losing streak, struggled to find any real rhythm. The positive side of all this is that they have a lot of impact players who will be back. Quarterback Jake Van Holzen will return with 4 of his top receivers, and Miles Taylor, who's already one of the most feared running backs around, has one more shot as well.
They're celebrating! That's a 69-yard touchdown!
Taylor is also an impact player on defense, where what the Cardinals return is very exciting. 6 of their top 8 tacklers will be back, and underclassmen accounted for 17 of the team's 20 sacks, 10 of their 13 forced fumbles, and 8 of their 9 interceptions.
Pass is picked off right at the goal line. Ryan Corey gets his second of the night. Welcome to the varsity squad, kid.
The Cardinals will still have plenty of holes to fill, especially on the offensive and defensive lines. But most important may be finding more depth in the offseason. Part of the Cardinals' struggles this year was due to how many guys they had playing both ways. Having more athletes carry the load will be critical to moving this program forward. There are your seniors, and there's always a fair few from the football squad. Kamaj Gant, Adrian Copeland, Marshall Holland, Tony Horst, Kelly Omenye, Max Goshorn, Nate Hernandez, Gavin Kazrowski, Nate Breams, Donald Hines, Alex Mirza, Armonte Henry, Darius Carline, and Hunter Tannum. And there's another 10.
Another 10.
Morgan Thomas, Quincy Taylor, Isaac Rusko, Danny Protas, Jordan Merschel, Austin Navala, Marcus Moore, Lewis Lovick, Griffin Anderson, Julian Yabara, Andrew Waskowski, Cody Howard.
Any more? We're done?
I think that's it. Are we good? All right, a lot of seniors, always is. But yeah, definitely a team that knows that this is not how they expected and were capable of finishing.
No, and I would have to say, if you asked Coach Mal Edwards his opinion of the season, disappointing, because they started out with 3-0. Things looked really good, and unfortunately they couldn't get a win after that. And you talked about it early in that piece, mistakes, and there were mistakes all year long that really hurt them as they continued on. And the nice thing I see, obviously there's a number of nice things that came from this season. So much contribution from underclassmen.
Oh, the
huge.
underclassmen. It should be a team that has a lot of talent coming back next year. But I think the big key is you just can't have that many guys trying to play two ways, especially when injuries start piling up in the meat of the season.
Well, the girls' tennis team, another program that will have a lot of returning impact players next season. The Cardinals did have 3 senior leaders who played nearly every match, but 70% of the lineup will be back. While they were solid this season, they have the potential to do much more in the future. As its pros and cons. The Cardinals' youth may have contributed to their slow start, but it was also a big reason the team showed so much improvement over the course of the season. The Cardinals lost their first 4 matches and 6 of their first 8, but they won 3 of their last 4, all against conference opponents. They finished the regular season 8-9. They blew past Minneapolis Edison in the first round of the section tournament before coming up short against Rogers, losing 4-3 to the Royals for the second time this season. It was those 1-point losses that really cost the Cardinals and kept them from finishing above the 500 mark. They were 2-4 in matches that ended 4-3. At the same time, they were only shut out once all year, while they swept their opponents 4 times. The Cardinals' 3 seniors all have been important parts of this team for more than just this season. Ellen Everhart filled the first single spot for the Cardinals almost every meet, and Carly Nelson and Jersey Schrader anchored the Cardinals' first and second doubles teams respectively. They will not be easily replaced, but there's plenty of talent still returning. The Cardinals have a very strong junior group that made up the bulk of the day-to-day lineup, but there are a couple of sophomores that got regular playing time as well. As a team from top to bottom, there was a tremendous amount of improvement over the course of the year. The Cardinals should be in great position to move forward next fall.
Only the 3 seniors, but pretty important names for the Cardinals lineup: Carly Nelson, Ellen Everhart, and Jersey Schrader. And, this is a team that's right around the 500 mark, a little bit below. Would have liked to be on the other side, but know that they have a lot of youth. And it's another program that is seeing the numbers continue to swell, which is a great thing.
Yeah, and you talk about those, we talked about those 4-3 losses in that piece. And you goes the other way, and all of a sudden you're over 500, and things may be a little bit different for you. But I love the way that they played late down the season. They improved some things, and overall wasn't the season they wanted, but better, but a pretty good season nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, much like the football team, the volleyball squad suffered from a small setback in year number 2 under a new head coach. John Enns and the Cardinals had higher expectations than what they were able to achieve on the court this year. And while they'll have some talent back, they'll be hit hard by graduation.
The volleyball season started with a ton of optimism. The Cardinals had 7 seniors, and with a year under Coach John Enns, everyone felt more comfortable working together. They felt they had enough of the right pieces to really make a difference this season. They had some size, plenty of experience, and a group of athletes that were ready to battle each and every night, looking to improve on last year's record. The Cardinals had enough talent to keep pace with just about any opponent they faced. Unfortunately, they couldn't close the door often enough. While they were competitive in nearly every set, they came out on the losing end more often than not. The Cardinals managed just 5 wins this season, and most of their 20 losses came in straight sets. It's clearly not the season they were hoping for, and it marks the end of a career for more than half of their roster. It will be difficult to replace what they lose to graduation. Most of the 7 seniors played every night, and several of them were major contributors for multiple seasons. Fortunately, the Cardinals will return a lot of important pieces as well. It's never going to be easy with the level of competition the Cardinals face. But as long as the future players are willing to battle to the end like this year's squad did, there's always going to be hope and optimism that they can move the program forward.
There you see it: Elizabeth Owens, Emma Wright, Alex Wright, Sophia Frakey, Gabby Nieseth, Olivia Weiss, and Julia Galicia. And, that's a big chunk of the varsity roster. They do have a number of girls coming back that are solid players as well. But it's a program that's going to have to scrap to to get better next year.
Yeah, again, it was a tough season for them as well, just the 5 wins on the season. And, we did a handful of their games and they were in sets, but just really couldn't close the door on a lot of things. And hopefully some of those things they learned, some of those younger players they learned, and they continue to grow their skills and take it over until next season.
Yeah, and the very few sets, if you look at all of the sets they played throughout the year, very few sets that they got absolutely blown out in.
Yep.
A lot that they were in the low 20s, just not quite enough to get over the ledge.
Well, the cross-country teams found some success this season for both boys and girls teams. Are still young and looking for even better things in the future. The Cardinals had 11 seniors this season, but only 1 regularly factored in the team score. That means they have a lot of talented runners who took great strides this season and will be back to lead the way next fall. The Cardinals start the season with the same goal every year. Train to be at your best, and at the end, when the meets matter most. And for the second straight season, the Cardinals had more than 60% of their runners post personal best in the section championships. The Cardinals knew from the start they didn't have a clear number 1 on either side. Both boys and girls teams, though, had the kind of consistency and depth that allow them to work as a unit to achieve their goals. There were changes in the leaders every meet, but the times were consistently improving. The Cardinals fared well in some of the biggest meets in the Midwest as they competed in the Malacca Mega Meet and the Griak Invite. The boys finished 6th in the Northwest Suburban Championships and 10th at sections. The girls were 12th at both. No one is going to get too excited about those finishes, but how they did it shows they have a lot of potential for the future. The Cardinals leaders frequently change spots in the order, and there was almost always a group in red running together from start to finish. The boys especially should be poised for a strong season in 2019. They had 2 all-conference runners and 4 more earn honorable mention. All 6 will be back next year. Sarah Eichstad, who was an honorable mention for the 2nd year in a row, will be back to lead the way for the girls team in the fall. Anytime you get better from start to finish, the season should be considered a success. But for these Cardinals, they're hoping it's just the start.
There are your 8 senior boys: Cole Cedarstrand, Aaron Johnson, Nick Jorgensen, Nate O'Neill, John Prisbilla, Logan Rothstein, Levi Taylor, and Kobe Tran. For the girls, just 3: Maggie Granados, Sanchez, Addie Hosek, and Courtney Killian. And I want to apologize if anyone got left off, and that includes Ellie Biggins, who should have been on the seniors for volleyball. All of the rosters or seniors on the rosters here come off the MSHSL website.
Yeah, she was a big part of that team, obviously. Our apologies.
But the cross-country team's still very young. Really, Nick Jorgensen of the 8 boys, the only one that regularly factored into the team scoring. None of the senior girls were big parts of the varsity score. So all of the major contributors will be back again in 2019.
Well, and both boys and girls did a great job of really pushing each other, running in packs, and really trying to increase all of their team times as well. So lots to learn and lots to grow on for next season.
Well, this season was the start of a new chapter for the boys soccer team as Armando Oster takes over the program. It was a trying season for this young team and their rookie coach. They didn't finish as well as they would have liked, but they're confident things will get better.
The Cardinals knew from the start this would be a tough year. Still, they were optimistic about their chances and looked forward to setting a foundation for the program. Coach Oster didn't want to change too much, but he hoped to shore up the Cardinals' defensive play and work on passing and building an attack through the midfield. Offense, he thought at the start, would take care of itself.
Oh, a missed play on the back end, and here's Begic in alone. He scores!
Unfortunately, that's what turned out to be their greatest struggle all season long. They have guys who have skills and creativity to make things happen on the offensive end, but they can never really get into a good rhythm. The Cardinals only scored more than 2 goals in 2 games all year. Those, coincidentally, were their only 2 wins. A 3-2 victory over Anoka and a 4-2 win against Rogers a week later. The Cardinals were shut out 6 times during the regular season, including a 4-game stretch in mid-September. The Cardinals will lose some big pieces to graduation.
including their starting goalkeeper and 2 of their top attackers. But they have a lot of guys that are coming back as well.
Find some pressure here. Maybe it is Vegic trying to cross out front, across, and a goal. In front is Koji, and that's how you celebrate a goal.
They know now that their offensive issues will need to be addressed if they hope to find any success in this conference. They hope to take what they learned this year and get things headed back in a positive direction in 2019.
Abdisa Koji, the best celebration we've seen in a long time, and we will miss it because he is one of the seniors for the Cardinals soccer program. Kai Tweedy, Ben Simone, Isaac Liram, Moses Madimba, Richard Lafaca, and Alex Bello, the others. And it was clear that they wanted to do some things a little bit different, running some new systems. And again, both boys and girls soccer teams, one of the things that they've struggled against is just not having the number of bodies and the high caliber numbers of high caliber athletes.
Yeah, struggling to score goals. And, Coach Oster comes from a good background of soccer, and he's going to work hard to turn this program around. It's tough to do when you don't have the numbers, and maybe not as obviously the competition is better at this point, but that's something that you need to work on.
Well, and he's certainly got the energy, he's got the knowledge, and
yes,
he seems committed.
He does.
And it should be fun to see what they're able to do next season.
You bet. The girls' team's struggles were even more severe, and despite their offensive woes, they never gave up. The Cardinals got only 1 win all season. It didn't come until the final game of the regular season. It was nice to see their perseverance finally pay off, and now things can really only get better.
Karen and Maddie Karen, another one, 2 of their 3 senior captains.
Yep.
Spending some time on the IR. Karen missed the end part of the season. Jalivia Gallegos missed the majority of the season. Just more question marks coming out of the season than there were going in.
Obviously, you've got to find some ways to score goals, and defensively, you can't give up the amount of goals that they gave up this season and expect to be a winning program, and that's something they're going to have to work on for turning that around.
And as we talk about each and every year, it's never easy.
Nope.
You play some really great competition up here in the Northwest. The swimming and diving team's section championships are coming up end of this week, and the Cardinals have a couple of girls that could qualify for state. This is a program that continues to grow and improve, and they're still incredibly young. This season was another assault on the record books as the Cardinals continue their quest to climb higher in the conference and section rankings.
The Cardinals' mission to build a contender continues, and it's clearly showing progress. Once again, the season began with a lot more bodies in the water. The team has nearly doubled in size in the past 2 years, and that is leading to exciting results. While their win-loss record didn't improve much, the Cardinals are definitely closing the gap between themselves and the conference elite. We knew the Cardinals leaders would guarantee the team points, but it's the improvement in their depth that is making the Cardinals a more formidable opponent. It was those second and third finishers in events that really made the difference for the team this year. While it didn't get them over the top, it did show in the team scores. The Cardinals had bigger numbers in every tournament this season, including a 143-point improvement in their score at True Team sections. They still finished 7th, but they did win their conference tri-meet to finish 11th in the Northwest Suburban. The Cardinal leaders rewrote the record books this season. It's been more than 5 years since a relay team posted a top 15 time in school history, and this year the medley relay hit 15th and the 400 free relay posted the 11th best time. Freshman Ella Hacker is now 13th all-time in the 200 free and 15th in the 500 freestyle. But the leader is clearly sophomore Megan Schultz. She is now 2nd all-time in 2 events, 3rd all-time in 2 more, and 7th all-time in the 100 freestyle. She also set 3 pool records in 2 different tournaments and set a new 7 AA True Team meet record in the 100 butterfly. Hacker and Schultz, along with Tamala King, Emma Schmidt, and a couple others, all have a good chance to qualify for state this season. Yeah, it's been so much fun watching those young ladies lead the way. There's the seniors moving along: Alyssa Macheski, Lorelei Payer, and Teresa Tran. And we'll update you on what happens with the section and possible state tournament for the swimming and diving individuals when we preview the winter season. But this is a really nice story coming out of the fall for Coon Rapids. They didn't have the team success they would love to see get up into the middle of those conference standings, but they definitely have the potential to be there within the next couple of years. And the contributions they're getting from those really young ladies is really exciting. Megan Schultz, clearly the caliber of athlete you don't see very often. Yeah, setting those records since she was in middle school.
Yeah, just a sophomore, and that's the impressive part about it. And yeah, the youngsters are really doing well for this program. Coach Donaldson does a really good job of bringing these swimmers together. What I love to see is that the numbers went up from a year ago, and hopefully will continue to grow because this program is growing in popularity, and Coach Donaldson does a great job with this program, and I'm just a big supporter of it.
Yeah, and I think he is a big reason why they're getting more people to turn out. He is very positive about it. He makes sure that they're having fun, and the kids obviously themselves are going out and recruiting others, and that's helping their numbers swell. Though, of course, he'll also be in charge of the boys team, which has seen similar growth over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it should be. Look forward to seeing what that program will do here later on in the year.
Well, that's going to do it for the fall season on Sports Night. Game coverage coming up. It's all girls hockey as they get started before anyone else. We'll be there when they host the Burnsville Blaze on Saturday the 10th. Then they are at Centennial on Tuesday the 13th and host Maple Grove on Saturday the 17th. I know we have the boys hockey opener at Rogers on Tuesday the 27th as well.
Coming up.
And we'll have a preview for you of the winter season coming up here in a couple of weeks. But that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there and continue to support everything we do here at CTM. For the entire crew, including Neil Highlights Hennett and the one and only Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young saying good night.